Welcome to Channel 9 SWC News. Today, in Africa. This is what Africa looks like. Now to our first story with Simone, with conflict in the Congo. Simone?
Hi, this is Simone reporting live from Congo. Recently, fighting between government forces and mutinous soldiers in the eastern region of Congo has dissolved a short period of relative peace. A peace accord was signed in 2009 in which Bosco Ntoganda's rebel troops were incorporated into the government army. However, recent accusations have annulled the 2009 agreement. Ntaganda is wanted for use of child soldiers and his involvement with criminal networks in this Central African nation. Defection began in early April when army commanders loyal to Ntaganda started to relocate their men to strongholds in North and South Kivu. On April 29th, in the Masisi region of North Kivu, the mutinous groups began to clash with government troops, and the fighting has escalated ever since. However, Ntaganda has denied any involvement in this confrontation, saying, "I am not involved in what happens here in Masisi. I am an officer in the army of the DRC, and I obey the orders of my superiors." Because of the violence, thousands of residents have been forced to flee their homes for neighboring Rwanda and Uganda. The eastern region of Congo currently teeters on the brink of a full-out war, and disaster will soon unfold unless the fighting is stopped. Thank you.
Thank you, Simone. That was a thrilling story. And now, off to Egypt, where Kyle has the story of the presidential election. Kyle?
All eyes are on Egypt's first post-Mubarak presidential race that will conclude next week, the 23rd and the 24th of May. Not only because it's the first presidential poll since the January 25th revolution, but because it's the first real presidential vote ever in Egyptian history. Most, therefore, find it hard to predict who is likely to win or even reach the runoffs. However, a few names are agreed upon to have a greater chance than others. There are currently 12 presidential candidates after the withdrawal of candidate Mohammed Isa on Wednesday. At a recent campaign rally for the Muslim Brotherhood's candidate for president, a hardline cleric and TV preacher sang Mohammed Morsi's praises before thousands massed in the stadium of an industrial city in Egypt's Nile Delta. The capital of the Caliphate and the United Arab States is Jerusalem, God willing, he added, as thousands cheered and waved at the Brotherhood's green flag, chanting, "The people want to implement God's law." On the campaign trail for the presidential election, now only days away, the Muslim Brotherhood has taken a sharp turn rightward, becoming bolder in saying that it wants to bring a state where religion and Islamic law play a major role, and insisting that it has the right to rule. As a result, it has moved away from the more moderate face that it promoted since even before the fall of Hosni Mubarak 15 months ago. Now back to the studio.
Thanks, Kyle. That was really interesting. Now here's our reporter in Sudan.
All right.
The wars in Sudan between the mostly Muslim north and the mostly Christian south started more than 5 decades ago. The once unified country suffered many major changes when North Sudan reaped the benefits of the colonization of Egypt in the 19th century, and as a result is more populated and more urbanized. However, the resource-dense South felt no need to conform to the new style of the Muslim North and began a secession movement in 1955. This is what spawned the violent wars between the two regions. I say wars because there have been 2 separate conflicts. The first lasted from 1955 to 1972, and the second from 1983 to 2005. At least 2 million people have died from these conflicts, and nearly twice that number have been displaced. A treaty was signed between the Sudan's People's Liberation Movement and the government of Sudan in 2005. South Sudan became an independent country on the 9th of July, 2011, and will be celebrating its 1-year independence in a mere 7 weeks. Now back to the studio. Thanks, that was really interesting. Now here's to Hannah, covering the Coney controversy. Hannah?
Woo!
I'm here in Africa, setting up camp with U.S. and Ugandan troops on the border of the Congo and the Central African Republic. We have just witnessed the capturing of Caesar Asylum, Coney's top military commander. We are now getting closer to Coney himself. I have to go. I'm not really supposed to be recording right now. But back to the studio.
Thanks, Hannah, for that thrilling first-hand account. And that's all the time we have for today. This is Channel 9 SWC News. Checking out. Have a good one.